I found a second phone in my husband's office, and it has pictures of me I never took. I don't even know if I'm overreacting anymore or if I'm actually in danger, but something is seriously wrong, and I need to get this out somewhere before I convince myself it's all in my head. I've been married to my husband Adrian for about a year now. From the outside, everything looks perfect. He's rich, successful, calm, the kind of man people automatically respect. And me, I'm lucky. That's what everyone says. But our marriage has never felt normal. He's always been distant. Not mean, not cruel, just controlled. Like everything he says and does is calculated. He works a lot, comes home late, barely touches me, barely talks unless it's necessary. I used to think maybe that's just who he is. Some people aren't affectionate. Some people don't need much. I told myself not to expect more. But then things started happening that I couldn't explain. Small things at first. I'd noticed stuff in the house slightly out of place. A drawer I knew I had closed left open. A glass moved from where I put it. At first I blamed myself. I thought maybe I was just forgetful. But then it got weirder. I started feeling watched. Not in a dramatic way, just this constant, quiet feeling that I wasn't alone even when I knew I was. I told myself it was anxiety, that I needed to relax, that this huge house was just getting to me. And then 3 nights ago, everything changed. Adrian had left for a business dinner. He told me he wouldn't be back until late, maybe not at all. I remember because I almost felt relieved. I hate admitting that, but it's easier when he's not there. The house feels less tense. I went into his office. I don't usually go in there. It's one of those unspoken boundaries. He's never told me not to, but I can feel that I shouldn't. That night, though, I don't know. Curiosity got the better of me, or maybe something in me already knew I'd find something. His office is always perfectly organized. Too perfect, nothing out of place. But one drawer, bottom right, was slightly open, just a few centimeters, enough to catch my attention. I stared at it for a long time before opening it. I don't know why I was nervous. It's my house too, right? I shouldn't feel like I'm doing something wrong, but I did. When I finally pulled it open, there wasn't much inside. Just some documents. And a phone. A second phone. I immediately felt my stomach drop. I picked it up, expecting it to be locked. It wasn't. That's what scared me first. No password. No protection. Almost like it wasn't meant to be hidden very well. Or like it didn't matter if someone found it. My hands were shaking when I opened the gallery. And that's when everything stopped making sense. It was full of pictures. Of me, not selfies. Not photos I had taken. These were taken from a distance. Some through windows, some from angles that didn't make sense. There was one of me in the kitchen, standing at the counter, looking out the window. I remember that moment. I remember thinking I was alone. There was another one of me sleeping, actually sleeping, taken from beside the bed. I felt sick when I saw that one, because I knew I had been alone that night. Adrian was out of town. I checked the date on the photo. He was definitely gone. There were dozens of pictures. No, hundreds. Me reading. Me walking through the house. Me sitting on the couch. Me brushing my hair in the bathroom. Some of them were taken from outside. Through glass, zoomed in. Others were clearly taken inside, close, too close. Like whoever took them was standing right there. My heart was pounding so hard I thought I was going to pass out. I started scrolling faster, desperate to make sense of it. And then I saw the messages. There was a messaging app open. No contact names, just numbers. I opened one thread. The messages were short, cold, observational. She stayed in today. No visitors. Lights off at I-2347. She seemed anxious. I felt like I couldn't breathe. Another message, sent just hours before. She went into your office today. I froze. I hadn't told anyone that. There's no way anyone could know that. Unless someone was watching me right now. I dropped the phone. Literally dropped it like it burned me. I turned around so fast, expecting someone to be there. No one was. The room was empty, silent, but it didn't feel empty anymore. It felt occupied. I grabbed the phone again, hands shaking even more, and kept scrolling. There were messages from Adrian, too. That's what broke me. Keep monitoring. Report anything unusual. Do not let her leave the property without informing me. I read that message at least 5 times. Do not let her leave. What does that even mean? I'm his wife, not a prisoner, at least. I thought I wasn't. I don't even remember putting the phone back. I just know I left the office and locked myself in the bedroom. I didn't sleep that night. Every little sound made me jump. I kept thinking about the photo of me sleeping. Someone was in the room with me, watching me, taking pictures. And I didn't wake up. The next morning, Adrian came home like nothing was wrong. Calm, composed, perfectly normal. He kissed my forehead, something he never does, and asked how I slept. I think that was the moment I realized something was deeply, deeply wrong. Because for the first time, his behavior felt intentional. Like he was playing a role. Like he knew something I didn't. I looked at him and tried to act normal, but I could feel my hands shaking. Fine, I said. You? He smiled slightly. Busy night. I almost laughed. Busy doing what? Monitoring me? Watching me through cameras I didn't even know existed? I've started noticing things now that I ignored before. Small black dots in corners of rooms. Tiny reflections in the glass at night. The way he always seems to know where I am without asking. I don't know how long this has been going on. I don't know why he's doing this. I don't know if he's the one taking the pictures or if someone else is. But I do know one thing, I'm not safe here. And the worst part? He's acting like everything is completely normal. Like I'm still just his quiet, clueless wife who has no idea what's going on. I haven't confronted him. I'm scared too. If he knows I found the phone, then he also knows I know. And if he's capable of watching me like this for who knows how long, what else is he capable of? I'm writing this from my bedroom right now. The door is locked. I've checked every corner, every mirror, every vent I could reach, but I can't shake the feeling that it doesn't matter. That if he wants to watch me, he can. That he probably is. I don't know what to do next. I don't even know if I should leave or pretend like nothing happened until I figure more out. All I know is this. I found a second phone in my husband's office, and now I'm terrified of the man I married. I didn't think I'd be updating this so soon, but things have escalated in a way I can't ignore anymore. I read through all the comments on my last post, and a lot of you told me the same thing. Act normal, don't confront him, and figure out a way out. So that's exactly what I've been doing. Or at least trying to. The hardest part is pretending I don't know anything. Smiling at him, sitting across from him at dinner, letting him exist in the same space as me like he isn't the reason. I can't sleep anymore. It's exhausting. But I think pretending saved me because 2 nights after I found the phone, something happened that confirmed this is way worse than I thought. He came into the bedroom while I was asleep. I had my eyes closed, breathing steady, but I was completely awake. I felt the mattress dip slightly as he sat down on the edge of the bed. He didn't say anything for a while. He just watched me. I could feel it. That same feeling I've been trying to ignore for months. Then I felt his hand brush a strand of hair away from my face. It was gentle, too gentle. You shouldn't go into my office, he said quietly. My heart stopped. I didn't move. I didn't react. I just kept pretending to sleep. He let out a soft sigh, almost amused. You're not as careful as you think. That's when I realized something terrifying. He knows. He knows I found the phone, and he's just waiting. The next day, nothing changed. He acted normal, calm, controlled, like always. If anything, he was nicer. He asked me if I wanted to go out, sat closer to me than usual, even touched my hand at one point, which he never does. It made my skin crawl. Because now I know it's not distance that kept him away before. It was control. Everything with him is intentional. And now that he knows I know, he's changing the rules. I went back into his office yesterday. I know I shouldn't have, but I needed to see if the phone was still there. It wasn't. The drawer was empty. But something else was there instead. A single note. Just one line written in his handwriting. If you wanted to know, you could have just asked. I don't think I've ever felt fear like that before. Not panic, not shock. Just this cold, sinking realization that I am completely out of my depth. I started paying attention to everything after that. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. There are cameras. I'm sure of it now. Not obvious ones, but hidden. Angles that don't make sense. Reflections that shift. And the messages on that phone? They weren't just observations. They were reports. About me, for him. But here's the part that messed me up the most. I checked his study computer while he was in the shower. I don't even know what I was looking for. Maybe confirmation. Maybe a way out. And I found files, folders, dozens of them. all labeled with dates. My name, I opened one. It was me. Again, pictures, videos, notes, but older. Way older. From before I even met him. Before the marriage. Before any of this. There was a video of me walking out of my university building. I remember that day. It was raining. I had an umbrella. I was laughing at something on my phone. I felt normal. Free. Someone had been watching me back then. Documenting me. And now I know who. This wasn't something that started after we got married. This wasn't even about the marriage. I was chosen. I don't know how long ago. I don't know why, but this was never random. When I heard the shower turn off, I closed everything and went back to the bedroom like nothing happened. I don't think he noticed. Or maybe he did. And he's just letting me think he didn't. That's the worst part about all of this. I don't know what he knows. I don't know what he's planning. But I do know one thing now. I need to leave. Not confront him. Not fix this. Leave. So that's what I've been planning. Quietly, carefully. I started small. I packed a bag and hid it in the back of my closet. Just essentials. Documents, some cash, a change of clothes. I've been memorizing his schedule. When he leaves. When he comes back. When the house feels less watched. I don't know if that's even possible, but I have to try. Tonight is my chance. He told me he has a late meeting. Won't be back until after midnight. I've heard that before, but this time feels different. Maybe I'm just desperate. Maybe I'm out of time. I'm writing this before I go. Just in case. If everything goes right, by the time anyone reads this, I'll be gone. And if it doesn't, I don't know. There's something else I haven't mentioned yet. Last night, when I was in bed, I turned over and looked at him. He was already looking at me, and made sure I wasn't isolated, just watching. It wasn't even cold. That's what scared me the most. I didn't respond. I've always taken care of you, he continued. Why? I finally whispered. Not dramatic. Because you were never. Don't think I slept at all after that. I'm about to try to leave a man who has been watching me for years. Man who knew. I would find out. And didn't stop me. I left my phone on the bed, packed everything as quietly as I could, and kept checking the hallway every few seconds. The house felt different that night. Not louder or scarier, just aware, like I was moving inside something that already knew what I was doing. I kept telling myself that was just fear, that I was projecting meaning onto silence, but every instinct I had was screaming at me to leave immediately. So I did. I waited until I was sure he wasn't in the house, grabbed my bag, and walked out without turning on any lights. I remember standing at the front door for a second, just looking back, thinking I might regret this either way, but then I opened it and left anyway. I drove for hours without stopping. No music, no calls, nothing. Just trying to get as far as possible before. I let myself think about what I had just done. I didn't know where I was going. I just knew I couldn't stay there another night. By the time I stopped, it was early morning. I checked into a small motel off the highway and sat on the bed for a long time, just trying to breathe normally again. I kept expecting my phone to explode with messages or calls, but it didn't. That silence felt worse than anything else, because after everything, I couldn't tell if it meant I was finally free or if it meant he was already ahead of me. I didn't sleep. I just kept checking my phone over and over, waiting for something to happen. Nothing did. The next morning, I went to a store, bought a cheap burner phone, and contacted a lawyer. I showed them everything I had. The photos, the messages, the notes, everything I'd written down from the beginning. They didn't dismiss me. That was the first moment I actually felt my reality shift into something official. Like it wasn't just fear in my head anymore. It was something real enough that other people could see it too. They told me to cut all contact, document everything, and file for a restraining order immediately, so I did. The hardest part wasn't leaving the house. It was realizing how fast he adapted to my absence, because nothing came after that. No messages, no unknown numbers, no attempts to reach me, just silence again. And that silence confused me more than anything he had ever done before. I kept waiting for escalation, for proof that I hadn't just been imagining the intensity of it all. But instead, I got something else. About a week later, I received an envelope at the motel. No return address. Just my name written on the front. Inside was a single page. No apology, no anger, no explanation. Just a short note in his handwriting that said, I never needed to stop you from leaving. I only needed you to understand that leaving was never the same as escaping. I read it more times than I can count. Not because it made me emotional, but because it made something click in a way I didn't want it to. Not a threat exactly, not comfort either. Just certainty, like he was stating something he genuinely believed to be true. I left that motel the same day and didn't tell anyone where I went next. My lawyer now handles everything, and I'm staying somewhere safe with people who know the full situation. I don't know what he's doing, and I've stopped trying to interpret him or assign meaning to every detail, because I realized that part was trapping me more than anything else. What I do know is that I'm not in that house anymore. I'm not alone anymore, and I'm not trying to solve him anymore either. This is where my story actually ends, not with clarity, not with closure, and not with answers about what he is or what he wanted, but with me finally stepping out of it completely and choosing not to go back, no matter what I still don't understand.